Hi everybody, this is a demonstration of changing the file size of your images with the Gimp program. Gimp is an acronym for the GNU Image Manipulation Program, which is a free and open source image editor available on the Ubuntu Software Center. Commercially, this is known as Photoshop, which costs a lot of money, but the Gimp is absolutely free. All you have to do is download it and learn how to use it. What I have on my desktop here are 4 images. I went around and took some pictures of some of the decorated lockers last week. They looked very nice. Incidentally, I also took a picture of the new netbook bags that are available at the help desk for $7, and you should definitely consider getting one. What I see all the time at the help desk are students come in and they have taken digital images using a camera, and they want to use them in, for example, a Google presentation, but they find that they can't use these pictures at all because the file size is just too big. It would take forever to upload all of these pictures because of their file size. Digital cameras these days take very high quality pictures. Even inexpensive cameras that you think aren't very good, they take pictures that have a lot of information in them. For example, if I look at this picture here on the top of a locker and I right click on it, when I right-click on it, I am able to scroll down and look at the properties of that picture, including the file size. So let's have a look at that file size. This picture is 2.7 megabytes, which is a lot more than anybody needs to do any kind of the work that they're doing on the web. For example, a Google presentation itself, as of today, making this video, Google presentations have a file size limit of 10 megabytes total. This picture itself is 2.7. Meaning if I use all 4 of these pictures in a single presentation, I would already be over the file size limit. And this is a rather inexpensive digital camera that I'm using. I very often see kids come in with file sizes of 4, 5, and 6 megabytes per picture, which is way too much. So they have to learn how to change the file size of their pictures before they become usable at all. You can do it on the camera or you can do it here. Let's right-click again and open this picture now in a different way. Instead of opening it up in Image Viewer, which is the default, let's open it up with the Gimp program that I started talking about earlier. Once again, this is free and open source image editing. If you know how to use Photoshop, this will become second nature to you. If you don't, you could spend a month or two, or you could spend a year learning how to use this Gimp program. It's a very sophisticated image manipulator, and there are all kinds of extensions you can go out and get for it. The picture would come up. If I open it this way, in a moment, I'll see that picture of that decorated locker. And while on the and let's look at the top here. Let's look at the top at these various menu bars. Just like in Photoshop, you could spend a lot of time studying what each one of those does. But rather than do that, let's just think about this picture for a moment. It looks like a small picture, but actually we're only seeing about 10% of what the true size of this picture is. So if I scroll on the scroll bar at the bottom and I actually view this picture in its real size, then I start to get an idea for how big this picture is. So let's learn how to reduce the file size by scaling it, which scaling it gives us a couple of options. I'm going to scale this thing down so it's manageable. Here I see the image size is 3000 by 4000 pixels. That's very large. That might not mean anything to you, so you could look at it, for example, in inches. If I convert it to inches, look at that. That's 41 by 55 inches, more than that. If I had a screen that big, that's how big this picture would be on it. It's more than I need, so I think I'll work with scaling its size down. The resolution's at the bottom. Resolution is how many pixels per inch there are, and 72 is a very common number for web-based material. I could change the resolution of this picture, but I get another chance to do that later on. If you really think about it, using the image size and the resolution, you could apply some algebra and figure out the exact file size that you'd wind up with later on for the image that you need. I'm going to change the image size here to get a smaller file, and I'm going to do that by I could do it any way I wanted, but just for this example, I'll change it to percent, and I'm going to change it from 100% down to, I'll take it a lot smaller, down to 25% of what it was before. So the picture itself will be 25%, and I'll leave the XY resolution as close as possible to that 72 pixels per inch. And there it goes. It's scaling down. Already, it's a much smaller file. let's look at it at 50% of its view. This picture might be small enough now to work with online, but just for demonstration purposes, let's just do one other thing and change the resolution a little bit to even further decrease the file size. So I can do that on the save. If I go to Save As, I'll change the name of this file so that it's something we remember, a smaller version. And then I have to pay attention to where I'm saving always. That's the one thing I keep telling students at the help desk, pay attention to where you save. And I click that Save button. What I'll find is a dialog box that lets me work on the resolution, even though I had a chance to do it earlier. It's asking me about the quality, and the quality is the XY resolution. And so I could leave it the same and be perfectly successful in having reduced the file size, but let's reduce it even more by taking out some of those pixels per square inch. And I'm taking it down from 91% of its original quality down to something very small. I'm trying to get 25%. So I've taken some of the dots out of that picture, and you're going to find that we don't even miss them on the screen. They would make a difference if I were trying to do a nice photographic print of this picture and make it a work of art, but not here, not on the screen. This is the smaller version now, and I've saved it on the desktop. Let's check out its properties right now. Success has crowned our efforts. It's only 50K, and that's a rather small image. That's good. It'll be perfectly fine to use in a Google presentation. Nobody will know the difference. So now this is a file size that is small enough to manipulate, small enough to upload, small enough to use, and that's a good thing. I'll just show you very quickly here some of the filters that are available in this program, the Gimp program. If you study Photoshop, you'll notice these things are very similar. You can change this picture in any way you want. I think I'll take a distortion and I'll use the mosaic distortion, and I can change this nice picture of a locker into a mosaic of hexagons, maybe for an art project, and that's how that works. It's all very sophisticated, and you could pay a lot of money for something like this, but you could also just learn how to do it with the program for free. And there's my mosaic, and it looks very nice. So that is how Gimp works. And the one thing I want to show you next is how do you get Gimp on your program, on your computer if you don't already have it. Well, and most of them don't have them. You have to go to the Ubuntu Software Center to get it. On my computer, the Ubuntu Software Center is right here. It might be in a different place on your computer. It probably is. So when the Software Center comes in, all I do is search for Gimp up in the search box on the right. And then it's the first thing that comes back. Gimp Image Editor is available. It's always the first thing that returns when you search for Gimp. And installing it from the Software Center is very easy. You just click Install, and then you have to authenticate with your password right there. And you'll notice the in progress symbol starts to move on the left there, and that just tells you that your computer is going out to find this program in the Software Center and prep it for installation. And when it actually does begin to download, in the upper right hand you'll see a bar move across that'll give you its progress and its download. Installing it couldn't be any easier from the Ubuntu Software Center, and that's why we have the Software Center on the netbooks. When the program is fully downloaded and installed, you'll see a green checkbox appear to the left of its name there, and there's the green checkbox. So I know that Gimp is in fact installed now on this computer. One thing that kids are getting used to is looking for where the programs land once they're downloaded and installed. And Gimp is a program that installs itself under your Graphics tab. So if you clicked on your Graphics tab, you'd find it there. So that's how to download and install Gimp, and that's a little bit of a lot to say about how to use Gimp, not only to change the file size, but to work with pictures.